Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the show. Neil Pick Up, the fat lad here, supernatural strength, and we are deep inside with Monster Michael Todd, the World Armwrestling League's reigning and defending heavyweight champion in the mother fluffing house. And I think this is episode number 5. So we roll. Now then, guys, we just heard some horror stories at the end of, and just, you know, you always go, I told you so. Well, on the beach in Mallorca that day, I told you so.
Yeah.
I did say, your arm is screwed, dude. That broke.
It was bad.
Blew it apart. With the right arm, what that did do, give us some insight as well on a number of things. When you talked about the X-ray and you talked about the extent of the damage that had been seen in your right arm, it's fair to say that, like I said in the previous episode, you donated your body to the science of arm wrestling. And that there is something to be proud of. And it explains a few things. But why do I need to talk anymore, mate? This is your show. It's about you. So pick it up, son. We're going into 2009, are we at now?
No, we're in 2010. That was May 2010. So it was Memorial Day weekend here when that happened over there. So in the States, it was Memorial Day weekend, and over in London, it was just another day. You know what I'm saying? So I get back home. I end up having surgery. They go to my knee. They dig out a hamstring tendon. They replace the elbow ligament. And everybody's like, oh, you got a leg tendon in your arm now. You can be so much stronger. I'm like, dude, I had a 20-year conditioned arm wrestling ligament. You know, that hamstring tendon may be thick and strong, but it's going to take a minute to get back to where it was. So the crazy thing about that is, you know, my right arm won't come any closer than this. Well, I just had surgery, so my left arm wouldn't come any closer to that either. Yeah. I was like, it was definitely difficult trying to shower. And the crazy thing was, the elbow wasn't the most painful. It was my ligament, my knee. I couldn't bend my leg, my hamstring. So I couldn't, get into things because I couldn't lift my leg up. So I was gimped up there for a minute. My left arm lost 3.5 inches in size in 3 weeks.
Jesus.
Yeah, so I had this massive 20-plus inch arm over here. It's 17-inch arm. So I'm wearing double-X shirts, real tight sleeve, real loose sleeve. You know what I'm saying? Now, the crazy thing was, I was going to come to Manchester. And I guess it was July for Trafford Center.
I'm trying to think what that would have been. Mighty Quest.
Woody got stroked my meniscus gregaritis. Jeff Hell, it was Jeff Hell's first experience in Arm Wars. I told you, hey, you should call Jeff, check him out. This kid's awesome. So I was supposed to go, but I was flying a buddy pass through John Brazing. And I was going to pull in a sling. I was going to just pull here and just have this one in a sling, you know. And I couldn't get out of the States. Mm-hmm. You know, a buddy passed a standby, so I couldn't get out. So then I looked and I was like, hey, I'll just go to UAL, you know, because that's when the John Brazing pulled Jerry Caderet in UAL.
Yeah, Venice Beach.
Yeah, in Venice Beach. So I was going to go to that. Well, couldn't get a flight out there either. And I'm like, well, shit, I guess I'll just stay home, you know. So then I was going to go to Unified Nationals to qualify, you know, because I'd won the Nationals every year.
Yep.
And I was going to pull on a sling there. But then I thought, you know, it's just, I didn't want to raise the sponsorship money, blah, 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 so I just didn't go. But the whole time, I'm still training. So I'm in a sling, I'm in this brace, this mechanical, you would adjust it and it would keep
like a cryo cuff. Yep.
Yeah. So I'm still training. So what happened was I overdeveloped the right side of my body. My shit was all out of balance. Because at the time, you know, I'm pretty strong. So I'm doing 100-pound dumbbell, I'm laying on a bench like this, and I'm doing one-arm dumbbell presses like this, and I'm doing one-arm incline presses like this, and I'm doing one-arm shoulder presses like this. So I'm doing everything with just my right arm. Well, my right lats and shoulders and traps are like this. My left was tiny. So that actually jacked me up. So I had to back off a little bit. 6 weeks later, I could start using the left arm again. So the circuits in which I do now, without the wrist rolls, cable pulls, and battle ropes, were the circuits I was doing then.
Okay.
So I started back at 45 pounds on the incline barbell press, flat bench, and decline bench for 30 reps, week 1. I think week 2, I went to 95 pounds. Week 3, 115, 135, 145, 155, 165. And every week, I just kept going back up. When I peaked in my recovery, I would do 315 on the incline for 30 reps. Now, I did take a 2-minute break. I'd go to flat bench, 315 for 30, 2-minute break. Decline, 315 for 30, 2-minute break. So I had just taken my body and rehab myself, starting at 45, 95, 115, 135, and then 10-pound increments. Think about that, from 135 to 315. So it was like 18 weeks that I was just steadily recovering, right? And my first event back right-handed was the Louisiana State Championships. I went to Armwrestling Table. I think they had some sculptured arms or something. I don't remember. Because, I like trophies. So I'm like,
you don't mind a trophy.
Yeah. So I go down there. I beat Brandon Bodine, some other people, Kobe Anderson, but whatever. That was my first match back. Did pretty well. I drive up to Kentucky Muscle. I don't compete, but I pull some with Tim Bresnan afterwards. Now I'm all outside now because when I was injured, I couldn't take this left hand and pull to do my hook. So I started pushing and I was dragging out. So that's where the open top roll started. I wasn't quite King's moving yet, but it's just a lot of rotational. James Smith called it a rotational lat drag.
Yep.
I would just drag her hard and rotate her toenail through your hand.
Yep.
Well, so then comes Sin City, Arm War Sin City. So I go on to WAFs in Mesquite. I watched that event. But my sister was going out there. My sister had finished 4th at the World Championships in Italy the year before. I've got her competing. She had lost about 50 pounds on my program, my transformation program, and I had her cutting to make 154s. Well, she makes the weight, but she had some issues, and she ended up being admitted into the ER. So she didn't get to compete. Well, I'm sitting there, so I go ahead and go over to Vegas for Sin City, and round 1 is me and Ryan Espy.
Yep.
Now, Ryan Espy's the top roller, and I'm the inside puller. And then I end up top rolling Ryan Espy. He ends up having to try to bent wrist press me, all kinds of stuff. And I'm just, you can see there's been an evolution, right? I'm a different puller. And on that day, I was about 275. Like I said, I was doing the 315 for 30, 315. I was strong. And I felt like, the display I did against Ryan, I was going to have a very good showing that day. Immediately following that match, I get a phone call from my mother saying that my sister might die. And my mom's freaked out. Well, I'm freaked out. I'm really emotional. I call my sister. She tells me, hey, just go ahead and finish the event. I'm like, I can't arm wrestle. You need me to come see you? She goes, no, just come see me afterwards. So I ended up withdrawing from the event.
Yep.
Well, Woody blew Yoshi Kana's bicep the first round.
Yep.
So my next match was going to be Woody. And that would have been cool for me. I feel like, Woody looked good that day. But think about that. He had one match with Yoshi, and then they pulled Travis in. You guys pulled Travis in to take my spot. And I don't know how real that match was, but it was pretty easy, So Woody didn't have a lot on his arm. You know what I mean? So Devin had pulled Richard Lupke's. Devin had pulled Tim Bresnan. And then Devin had pulled 12 real rounds where Woody had pulled 1, and then, the match with Travis. So that match, I don't think was an accurate depiction of how close those two guys were. Because I feel like if Woody would have had to pull me, I honestly think I would have made it through to the finals against me and Devin. So you might have seen me and Devin then. But I had to withdraw from the event. And fortunately, my sister, she ended up staying in Mesquite, Nevada. I flew back home. She stayed out there for 3 more weeks before they got to release her. So at that point, my mom told me my sister couldn't arm wrestle anymore. So I was like, all right, Mom. I'm going to try to make Robin make weight. Because I was kind of blamed for that whole deal. But so that was it. That was my next experience was, and there was a different version of me. It was a bigger version, but it was a different arm wrestler, right? So that's how 2010 finished for me. 2011 started with me going to Italy to pull Davide Kappa. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
So they flew me over there, and he was a good top roller, and I busted his hand back, transition press, did the whole thing, all open top roll. Very good performance. I won 5-0. The next event, Arnold Classic. Dennis and Plenkoff's there. Now, there's been a lot of talk about this match, and I'm going to go ahead and clear all this up right now. Because they're like, oh, he had that war with Richard Lupke's before he pulled Michael. Yes, he did. Can't argue that. Hell of a match. Round 2. Round 3, he flashed his round 3 opponent. Ready goes Mac. Crushed him. So he pulls a war in round 2. But in round 3, he flashes his guy. My round 3 match was Tim Bresnan, who I stopped. Now, this is where King's move's kind of really coming out. Tim fouls. Boom, catches hit again. Stop. Tim fouls. So I have 2 matches, or 2 starts with Tim Bresnan where I have to catch his hit, hold him. He transitions to a press, he fouls. So in my mind, his second round war with Richard would not have played any more of a factor than my third round match with Tim Bresnan. That seems like a logical explanation, right? So then, boom, he hits, and he'd never faced anyone like me before. There really had never been anyone like me before. I mean, they're not that size guy who had that in his arsenal.
Mm-hmm.
So he hits me, and I catch him, and I'm looking at the crowd. Oh, yeah, it's on. You got Travis Banks out there being my number 1 fan. Whoa! He's screaming. You're talking to Robert Drink saying, look, I told you Michael Todd's entertaining, you know. And I'm putting on a show. Then he ends up coming in for a press, and he fouls. Well, then I'm pointing at the pad. I'm going to shoulder press him. I hit that dude. Wham! Uh-oh. Woo! He rips me back over. I back off of it. Hold him. Get him back to center. Make a couple of bumps. Transition for the press. I get the win. Had that tournament been a one-day event, I would have beat him 1,000 more times. But I can't arm wrestle that way 2 days in a row very effectively. And part of it was we went back to the hotel that night, and I re-watched the footage because someone had the video.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally got concerned for the safety of my arm because I watched how hard that dude was hitting me. I'm like, oh, damn, he might break my arm. You know what I'm saying? So the next day, he had to beat Dave Chafee, real quick hook match, and he came back and he ended up beating me twice in the finals. I don't know if I just wasn't the same guy. Watching that video and seeing how hard he hit me was in my head. Maybe he was just better that day. But I'm telling you, on that Friday, that could have been a best of 1,000. I'd have won that shit. But people think they're going to watch this and they think that's a bunch of excuses. That's just my feelings. I'm just telling you how I feel about it. But yeah, huge win though, right? So at this point in time, there have been 2 North Americans who ever pinned Dennis and Plinkoff, John Brzezinski and me. Pretty good company to be in, right?
Mm-hmm.
So because of that match, you and Robert Drink, you set up, say, hey, let's have Michael Todd pull Tim Bresnan in Lake Tahoe at the UAL.
Yep.
So I show up out there, lose the first match, come back, win the next 5. That's the match that gets me the world title shot against Devin. And you're not wanting to do this match.
No.
I'm your heavyweight champ. He's the super heavyweight champ, and you're not wanting us to do it. And I'm like, Neil, I want this match. You can take it from there if you want. Tell me your side of it. How did it go from there?
Well, I didn't want that match because of the fact that you were, as I say, the heavyweight champion. We had the category split in that manner. Devon was the super heavyweight champion. I had more than enough opponents for both of you to arm wrestle against, who wanted a crack at you, who you were committed to arm wrestling Devon Larratt. You wanted Devon bad. And I said to you, look, first things first, Michael, I don't think you can beat Devon. I remember that conversation on the bus. Yeah. I remember how that went. You exploded. Shit, yeah, I'll show you, you'll see. And I'm like, yeah, he will beat you. He's too versatile, he's going to beat you. And you went crazy. Give me that match, I'll get, So, anyway, you won. We ended up doing a match. As a match, wasn't it?
It was a match, man. It was a hell of a match.
Acid Rain. What a torn. That may be that card, top to toe, was. I'll tell you what, that and High Stakes, my God. Those cards were, we did a lot of great cards on Arm Wars, but the Acid Rain and High Stakes were ridiculous. The depth of the cards, the matches on those cards, the entertainment level of those matches was truly ridiculous.
Good stuff.
And that particular match, we had over 15,000 people in the Trafford Centre. On the top level there, we're talking 8 back from the balconies. The entire ground was full. Place was absolutely bouncing when we announced you guys out. We've been plugging the advertising. The Eurosport show was in its full rocking really then, and then there were banners all over the place with the names of the pullers on there. We'd been rolling on.
Yeah, I got people walking up to me, on your autograph and stuff, because you could see me in the entrance.
It was iron. just an enormous buzz. Maybe the biggest buzz I've ever felt at an arm wrestling competition in my life, I'm going to say. It was ridiculous. Really ridiculous. There were a lot of guys that had come just purely and simply to watch that match. The hype around it was huge. We'd been hyping it for a long period of time. And when the moment finally came, I know that coming upstairs to see you guys 10 minutes before we announced you out on stage, you were feeling it, the pair of you. It was bristling. You could tell something special was about to go down, and it was like the atmosphere before a big fight. That was an incredible card and an incredible match. So emotional, so raw. And when we announced you out into the Trafford Centre and the place went bananas, yeah, over to you, Michael, Todd.
Yeah, man. So that was one. So John Milne had actually came down to train with me prior to that match. And he was telling me, you can't beat Devin here, you can't beat Devin there. And I'm like, oh, we'll see. We'll see. You know what I'm saying? So we slip. And when we slip, Devin gets cocky. Because, you know, I kind of slip underneath him. We get in the strap. I crack that wrist back. You know what I'm saying? I hit over, got him folded over. He makes some good adjustments. I try to come back in. I come back out, post up. He thinks he's got his, like he's all right, cool. And then he commits. Boom. And when he does, I come up, that big bench shoulder press pushes right through him. I lose my mind. One of the greatest videos I've ever seen is Devin's top 10 celebrations. You know, and number one is
the mother. Yeah, that was the stuff of legend that weekend.
Yeah. Oh, but once they get the strap off, it was, I'll charge you like I'm about to kill you. I'm like, I told you. You know what I'm saying?
It was like round two of the bus going on.
That is where the problem started. Devin's a very smart arm wrestler. Devin's a very, very smart arm wrestler. I'm going to say this before I go any further. On that day, if you could have duct taped me to Devin Larratt, I'd have beat him 100 straight. I was stronger, but he was a better arm wrestler.
I remember you asked me if I had any duct.
I'm like, strap this, because the round two.
I'm like, you can't just bend that rule. Willie, get us some duct tape.
If you'd have strapped me to that dude, he'd have been a world of trouble. But he walked out of the strap. I didn't know that was a defense for what I was doing, because I had a floating hand top row Kingsman. I floated. Well, he has a taller arm. He had a better riser, and he just walked. So we actually come out of the strap. That's all edited too. We come out of the strap, put another strap on. We got two straps. I said strap on.
We're very adult on this show, though, like you. I don't know what you mean, mate.
All right. So there are two straps applied. And
2 meter straps as well.
Huh?
This was a 2 meter strap.
Oh,
this was like a normal. We had a thick 2 meter strap.
He walks out of that too, and he gets me in the most compromised position in the world. And he comes up, and he starts talking to me. I'm like, "Well, pin it then." You know what I'm saying? And
he's going, "It is over, Michael.
Yeah.
It's over, Michael."
And then he pins me. And then round 3, we come back, and it looks like he's playing a little bit, like he's holding position, like he thinks he's going to bleed me. And I'm still fighting. Like, there ain't no quit, right? And then I get behind it. I miss the press. He pits back out. I come back out of it. I hit that press, bent wrist press, and just push him straight off the pad to the pin. And he's like, "Oh, crap." You know what I'm saying? So right now it's 2-1 my way. At the time, I felt like I got over anxious. I feel like I too aggressively went for the pin. If I would have known, clamp my hand, pull back, hold, then get him to my side, then press, whatever, he just out-arm wrestled me. He got round 4. And then round 5, because I was winning on the left-hand side of the table. I wasn't winning on the right-hand side of the table. He meets my press before I get my shoulder fully committed, and he comes in on top of me and presses my bench press down. And he screams at the camera, right? Now I'm down 3-2. Oh, shit. Because this is my shot at being globally recognized as the number one arm wrestler on the planet, right? I come up short. And that's when we go outside afterwards. I'm really emotional. And I'm like, dude, I'm done. I've trained harder for this match than I've ever done in my life. Mm-hmm. And I'm the strongest I've ever been. And if I can't be the best, I'm not doing it. You know,
and you walked off. Walked across the car park and left the goddamn building. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And you're gone. All the odds are like, where's he going? I'm like, he's done. You don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah. Now, the funny thing is, later that night, we're on the coffee table. we have, like, couch pillows that are probably 12 by 12, and we're using those as elbow pads. Yeah. And I'm dragging Devin Laird all over that coffee table.
Any lobby battle royale.
So we're strapped up like crazy, and I've got this 12-inch elbow pad, this pillow, and I'm just pulling him across the table. I'm like, you're too light, Devin, get over here. Yeah, I was done for about 3 hours.
3 hours? Retired. Yeah, you retired for a few hours. Gone. So there's like the precursor of the WAL walk-off was that. That was the first, like, yeah, I'm going. And I wasn't successful in talking you down that day. I was there with it, and I couldn't talk you. I'm going.
I think I was probably crying and everything.
Oh yeah, you were gutted, mate. Yeah, you were really
I was, like fucking tears up.
Yeah,
like,
really
and
bad.
Angry at me.
Yeah, furious, bad.
I was angry at me for failing because this was my shot, and I didn't know if I'd ever get another one. You know. Because, like I said, I'm only as good as my last match. Mm-hmm. And if I don't win, you know, I feel it's just weird. No one else puts pressure on me. It's always me. I
remember saying to you when we got back to the hotel that night, saying, look, listen, you're in a situation where you've just pulled a guy that is, in my opinion, at that time, the very best in the world. And
what you said was he was a mirror image of me. If I looked in the mirror, he was me, just better.
Yeah, he had the endurance, all he could pull anywhere, had all the endurance in the world, all the desire in the world, but he was a bigger version of you. And I still maintain that at that time, that was an accurate assessment.
Yeah. Damn, I was strong, though.
Oh, yeah. And nuts.
Yeah. All right, so I come home from that. I was retired for 3 hours. I come back home. I start training immediately. You know what I'm saying? And then someone introduces me to Vasalis, the Body by Body Challenge. And I don't know what they had in those shakes in the beginning, but whatever it was, I was ripped in a month. Like, I was 290, 285, 290. And people are like, how long is it going to take you to get your abs back? I'm like, probably 8 weeks. And in 4 weeks, I was 260 and shredded. Like, I'm talking boom, 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 boom. Veins running through my abs. So then you set me up for the Arnold Classic Europe in Madrid. And I'm pulling homeboy. The dude is really from Romania, but he was the overall champion.
Oh, my God. Can't even remember the kid. Yeah.
I have it on the tip of my tongue. I can think of it. But it was my first match back left-handed. Remember?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My first match back left-handed on Saturday since my elbow since it blew apart. In round one, I'm super skeptical. I get in there, and actually I don't even press. I'm just trying to, and he beats me outside. I walk off to you, and I'm like,
yeah,
it's gonna break. It's gonna break because we're about to find out. You know what I'm saying?
Here we go again.
And I'll pick this dude up in the shoulder press. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm back. It's healthy. You can handle it. So I go on to win 5-1.
Yeah, your confidence barometer went through the roof after that. Your confidence barometer. You just
100%. 100%. Right through the roof.
Mm.
Dude. I'm still trying to think of that dude's name. It's so close on my. But what it was is what he had done really well in 2008. He'd actually beat me on the practice table in 2008 after WAF.
He was a very big man, very powerful guy.
Large fellow.
Dominating in Spain.
But the next day, after beating 5-1 left-handed, the bravado that was Monster Michael Todd on Sunday, when I came out, oh my God. And I was ripped. Like, when you saw me the night before the tournament at the weigh-ins, you're like, holy crap, I had that blue Arm Wars jersey on.
Yeah, the physical change that you'd made was just shocking. When you rolled up, I was like, the hell? You just look like a different man. Just a completely different entity.
I did a double bicep with Gunther Schmicklick, whatever the hell his name was, the German dude who beat Ronnie Coleman at the show and strength. And, like, he wasn't full-fledged bodybuilder at the time, but I was like, look a lot like him. I was like, I was like, hell yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. It was like if I'd rolled in now at 85 kilos in a month.
Dude,
I'd be like, what the hell?
I was dialed in.
Different man.
Yeah. So we come out on Sunday. You know, this is when we got the main stage in the auditorium.
Yeah, it's a beautiful auditorium in there.
Gorgeous. Yeah, I come out and I put on a clinic. I'm like, I am way too strong for this class. You know what I'm saying? Because I had been used to pulling all the supers guys. And I came in there and was just extremely, extremely dominant right-handed. So that was 2011, probably September-ish. I think that's when it was. September, October. Might have been October. Hell, I don't remember what.
I think it was October.
I think it was. Arnold Classic Europe. Well, here comes the real one, right? This is the defining moment of my career. I've had some really good moments leading up to this, right? Showed a lot of heart, showed a lot of this. PAL offers me Andre Pushkar. Vendetta in Vegas. January 16th, 19th, can't remember, 2012. I came into that thing weighing in dressed. Athletic pants, PAL jersey, tennis shoes, 258. But you could see my abs through the shirt. You know what I'm saying? Like, I was in shape. Now, Neil, I'm going to let you take over a little bit and you tell me what conversations you and I had and what conversations you and PAL had leading up to that match.
When I made the match, I was very, very confident that it was a good move because I felt like stylistically you matched up well. And at that time, there was a lot of skepticism around whether it was the right match. When I was making those matches back at that time, it was a similar situation. I'd pull the match together and people would say, okay, yeah, I like that match, or everybody's got an opinion, you know. I thought that you matched very well, but the overriding opinion from a lot of people was that Andre was too much. And he was too big, too intense and too powerful, and he would just drive through you. And I said, I don't know, Michael's in very, very good shape and he wants this very, very badly. And you were showing enormous confidence. You were looking very strong. You were looking very prepped and ready. And I genuinely believed that you had something for him. I thought it'd be a real screamer, top to toe. I envisaged it being super close. Win, lose, or draw, it'd be an absolute battle. So we pulled the match together. Now, remember, your confidence was really, really strong up to like the day. The night before, and you had like a mental collapse the night before. You just completely went from, I'm going to win to, I don't even want to do it. What am I thinking? Am I ready? Have I done enough? And we had like a hour-long conversation where I was trying to talk you down from the ledge. It was just a weird moment. But when you came out and went on stage, I knew you were ready. I knew. You could see. You could see.
The part of that conversation that I wanted you to tell was how you, like, Michael, I think you can do it. I think you can do it, but I just don't know those strict rules.
That was my concern because you're right.
Man, you're the Arm Wars marquee. You're my Arm Wars marquee athlete, and I think they're going to try to discredit us, and they're going to beat you, man. And nothing is PL. It's just they thought the strict rules were going to have an effect on me.
It was more around. Yeah, I was concerned around not so much the you. I was concerned around you not doing yourself justice by fouling out in every round, Mike.
Yeah. And I got one foul that whole match. But the other part was, didn't you have a 4-figure bet that they told you that I was going to lose 6-0, and then you told me about that bet?
I made money off 3 individuals who shall remain nameless in the lead up to that, and it's not who you might think. 3 individuals which totaled over $1,000.
Yeah.
And all of those individuals were extremely confident that I was nuts.
And that he would win 6-0.
He would run you over. They didn't think it'd be a match. That's happened a number of times in my career.
And you told me, and I'm like, you tell them.
I said, you tell them I will whip his ass and beat him embarrassingly. You said I will woo on his ass and embarrass him. That's what you told me. Beat him easily.
Man, that was a big one. That was it, dude. Round 1. We hit, we slip, I lose my mind. because we slipped in the center of the table.
Mm.
And in my mind, if you can't hit me out of center on goal, you don't want anything to do with me in the strap, because I'm going to stop you, right? Slip in the center of the table. I lose my mind. Get back up there. We set it. Ready, go, hit. The match stops. Pow! The buckle flies 10, 15 feet out into the audience.
Mm-hmm.
We snap the buckle. They don't have another strap. That was the only strap.
That's incredible.
Yes. So I told Bill Collins, listen, I'll leave. If you can't figure this out, I'm leaving. I don't have to do this.
Doesn't sound like you, Michael. Perfectly reasonable and understanding. Thanks for that, son. Can't imagine who that guy is.
Yeah. So he ends up running, because it had the loop that was sewn where the buckle was. Actually, so they tied it back together. Somehow the buckle, they tied it back, and then the buckle snapped. I got the strap right there. You see that? That's the World Cup strap. Right? I got the strap.
Of course you do.
Of course I do. So then he ties the strap through the loop where the buckle was, and then ties a knot in it. So we're tight. Ready, go. Wow. I catch it. I'm looking at the crowd. I'm shaking my head. Bob Brown's there. I'm like, yeah, baby, this is it. I transition to press. Boom. I turn around, and it's the biggest screen.
No, again.
That was it. Because that was it, dude. That was the match. I wasn't supposed to win. Ingen Terzi, you know how he'll put his polls? Chances of 6-0, Andre. 5-1, Andre. 4-2, Andre. 3-3. 4-2, Michael. 5-1, Michael. 6-0,
That was
Michael.
my bet. 4-2, Michael was my bet. I figured that was how it's going to go.
On that poll of his percentages of my chances of winning, I had a 20% chance of tying. 3-3. I had a 20% chance of tying 3-3. That had to be the longest, best odds, long shot in the history of sports that I would win 6-0.
Yeah, I didn't think you'd win 6-0. I did after round one, but I didn't beforehand.
Oh, after round one,
After round one, I knew
bet
it
the
was
house
done.
on it. It was a done deal.
Yeah.
By round 3 or 4, and I love Andre. I miss him dearly.
Oh, God, he's a lovely lad. Sick.
But by round 4, I had stole his soul. I had taken it. He had dropped his head in defeat, and you could see it because he was the guy. Like, he had won WAF World Heavyweights like 5 years in a row.
He's one of the best tournament arm wrestlers that's ever done it, mate.
In the history of arm wrestling.
Oh, without doubt.
He's one
Andre
of the best
Pushker,
arm wrestlers who's ever competed in the history of arm wrestling.
without question. Andre Pushker, and this is nothing to do with the fact that he's unfortunately not with us anymore. Andre Pushker, before that, I've always said, was a phenomenally effective super heavyweight tournament arm wrestler. You know from the conversation we had before that. Orthodox pullers against that, he was so strong. My God, I called him the Ukraine pain train. His hit, oh my God, it was the most aggressive, nasty, direct Route 1 hit ever. And he'd so much power, just so strong. God damn, that man was horrible. He was just an incredible puller.
Yeah.
Travesty happened to that lad.
Horrific. I mean, that was, that affected me dearly.
No.
We were jumping forward a little bit, but that almost ended my arm wrestling career.
Mm.
He had been my benchmark for several years. You know, he was the reason. There's a picture of him right there by my door where my wrist roll used to sit right in front of, and I wrist rolled every day looking at that picture. He was the reason I am who I am, because I trained that hard because I wanted to be him again. You know, because he had become overall number one in the world. And when I lost him, I didn't know what I was supposed to do. You know, I didn't know who was I gunning for, what was I training for, what was the purpose. Maybe I should be spending this time I have on earth with my loved ones and my family, not being so selfish and making it about how great I can be at this sport that no one really cares about. You know what I'm saying? But then after some reflection, I realized the best way that I could honor him would be to go out and be the best version of me possible. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people didn't know that we had such respect for one another. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, you and Andre were tight when you were together. You were close.
Yeah, good man.
Yeah, he was a lovely lad. Very misunderstood. From you read comments about him and people who didn't know him. They thought he was a certain type of guy. He was like a quiet, reflective guy. Whenever I was there, he was like a really very humble, nice, genuine lad. Always a lovely, warm smile.
Yeah.
Really, really good dude.
So that match was huge. My next match was back in Germany, the Greatest brothers. Left hand against Darius, right hand against Modestus. So this was kind of revenge for Woody, right? Because Woody got stroked 6-0 by Modestus. So I pulled Darius. Darius is strong left-handed. That first match, same thing. Because that left arm, I'm still a little skeptical. You know what I'm saying? I get in there, and I lose. Like, all right, but I held on. And my press is my move, but I'm not pressing yet because I'm afraid of it. And I'm holding. He beats me. Round 2 again, I'm like, well, if it breaks, it breaks. We're going for it. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of shoot and secure that hook, and then I just look at him. And I look at the crowd, and I look at his brother screaming for him, like, you know what I'm saying? And once I realized that there was a gap.
You showbolted.
Yeah, I had a good time there.
Yeah, you went into showbolt mode.
But the next day, against Modestus, giant.
Oh, what a big man.
Enormous. Oh, my God. Slip strap, top roll, boom. You know, I'm having a lot of fun with it. You know, I know I'm in control. I'm doing different things. Round 3 or 4, I transitioned to a press on that dude, and I hear some shit go, pow. And it was bad. I felt bad. I think it was round 4. So then round 5 and 6, he kind of forfeited. The reason I'm talking about that is remember the conversation that y'all had at Zloty that year after the fact? So I had beaten Pushkar 6-0. I had beaten Modestus 6-0. So right-handed, I have not lost a single round since losing to Devin.
Mm-hmm.
Since I lost to Devin, I have not lost a single round. Every single person I've arm wrestled right-handed, I've won every round. Well, remember you came back and told me that later on that year at Zloty, it's either Zloty or WAF Worlds. One of the two. Might have been WAF Worlds. I don't know where you guys were. But Modestus is like, don't arm wrestle Michael Todd.
Yeah.
He'll hurt you.
Mess you up. Yeah.
He's like, don't, whatever you do.
It's a horrible experience. And don't just the whole experience of it is different. It's not like wrestling a normal guy. It just saps you, destroys things, your joint, everything. It's just a horrible, nasty experience. Which, I always said it, blood in the water, when you get a bite on something, it's very, very hard to talk you out of a match when you believe you're in it.
That's the thing. There are two me's. There's Michael Todd, who doubts himself, who doesn't believe that he's as good as he is, or doesn't believe he's as capable of being. But then there's Monster Michael Todd, and that dude's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Once I believe I deserve to be in the match.
Yeah, you're hard to talk out of it. That's for damn sure. You'll stay in there a long time.
Like potentially Levin, right? Potentially Levon. I don't know what will happen. But I do know this. If that match stops and I switch over from Michael Todd to Monster Michael Todd, that big dude's in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. Because I won't just win. I will win in an impressive fashion. You know what I'm saying? Like, I will put on a show once that stuff stops. Because the thing is, and you don't want to pull me when I'm really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? When I believe I'm there, and all I got to do is believe I deserve to be on the table. And once that happens, I'm a very, very hard man to beat. And someone like Levon going into that match, I literally have nothing to lose. You know, a lot of people think he's great already. I don't think he can say he's the number 1 arm wrestler in the world without beating me. And I don't think I can say I'm the number 1 arm wrestler in the world without beating him. So I don't think either one of us can technically make claim that we're the best arm wrestler on the planet without us competing against each other. Now, some people may agree or disagree. I don't know. But that's my belief. You know? But yeah, so that on that topic, once I'm in it, you're right, I'm in it. But yeah,
so ladies and gents,
Oh, we're
going
done?
to cut this big mother
Let's
fluffer off one more time. Okay, you got. I did talk me into it again, Michael. Go on,
All right, here we go. So now Devin is out from surgery, right? He's out. He did beat Andre left-handed June 2012, but now he's out. So now there's a interim super heavyweight title.
Oh yeah,
in Las Vegas. Richard Lucky's. Dude, that match was crazy. Have you seen how hard he hit on me?
Oh man, look, yeah. Lucas is powerful.
Oh my God. And that man got so frustrated. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just see it. But
Bob Brown got so frustrated. Never mind Richard Lucas. Bob Brown frustrated.
Oh, Bob was like running. I'm like, Bob, why are you telling me what to do? Why don't you just let me enjoy this victory? Shut up. You know what I'm saying? Because, but I'd never faced Richard, but I'd always, really, really respected Richard. He was one of the few guys I looked up to just because he was a good dude, right? But he's and he's the most impressive looking person in the sport, probably.
Phenomenally, mate. Unbelievable. Powerful.
But yeah, so coming out of that one 6-0, huge. And then I call out Devin. I'm like, all right, guy, I'm ready when you are, baby. I got the heavyweight title. I got the interim heavyweight. I got this interim super heavyweight title. It is time to roll. When are you ready to do this? Hey, Flinty, come here. My grandson just walked in here. Hey, buddy. Oh.
Hey. Hey, big lad. How are you doing?
Hello.
How are you doing? You okay?
You doing good? Yeah.
We'll wrap it there. Let Mike get back to his family. Michael, I want to say thanks for your time again, brother. That's another one in the can. Very interesting insight on the life and the history, the legacy of the monster. And that takes us into the next show will be number 6.
Number 6. Oh my God. We've still got 8 years left.
We've still got 8 years left. You wondered why his beard got long. Right? You enjoy your day, mate, with your family, or I say day, it's evening here, a day there. And, we will be back on here very soon. Ladies and gentlemen, if you like what you see on the Supernatural channel, please like the video, share the video, hit the subscribe button, and we'll be back with more with myself and Mike very soon. Till that time, guys, take it easy, peeps.